Thank you. I want to call the September 14th, 2021 meeting of the Kentucky Legislative Ethics Commission to order. And I'm going to ask Danita to call the roll. And when you answer, would you also tell us where you are physically located?
Sheldon Ball.
Here. And here is Russellville, Kentucky at my office.
Okay. Senator Ernie Harris.
Here at my home in Oldham County.
Dave Nicholas.
Here in my home in Franklin County.
Michael Knopfler.
Here, and I'm at my office in Somerset in Pulaski County.
Tanya Pullen.
I'm here at my home in Greenup County.
Gail Russell.
Here, I'm at my office in Louisville, Jefferson County.
Paula Sherlock.
Present, and I am in at Duckwoods Country Club in their conference room in Southern Shores, North Carolina.
And Anthony Wilhoit.
Here, I'm in the commission offices in Frankfurt.
We have a full quorum.
Thank you. We've got a quorum and a duly constituted due business. We have minutes from the June 8th, 2021 meeting. If anybody remembers back that far. Is there a motion for approval?
I so move.
Have a motion and a second. All those who favor the motion signify by saying aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and it is so ordered. We're at the staff report, and we've got several things in the book that I've asked Laura to go through, and then we will have a report from the salary committee from Michael Knopfler. So, or if you go right ahead.
Okay, great. Great to see you all again. After a little hiatus during the summer. I wanted to update you on just general, staff and business at the office. We're, still working hard under some, really kind of trying conditions, of course, but we're doing well. We opened up our office for in-person services here recently, with as long as people have masks, and we were coming in several at a time, when the virus was at its ebb. But of course, with the resurgence, we've tried to go back to mostly one person in the office unless there's a need. And then when we do have more than one person in the office, we're masking up. So anyway, just trying to keep everybody safe and healthy. As you know, or as I'd emailed you all, sadly, we did have one commission member, Tony Gates, have to resign due to his health issues. And we miss him, and I know you all do too. We, as a staff, we sent he and his wife a fruit basket. And also, Commissioner Sherlock had let us know that she's now finalizing her plans to become a North Carolina resident. And unfortunately, will be leaving us at the end of this month, and will certainly be missed as well. But I'm hoping that she invites us all out to North Carolina. But that's that's a personal thing. So on moving on to the next item, you've got your financial statements in the book from Tom Hampton for June, July, and August. We're in a new fiscal year, or as some legislators used to say, a new physical year. But the year in balance is in that first book that we sent you. And again, thanks to Tom Hampton, we're in we're in great financial shape. So that's that.
You want to
Do you
approve
wanna-
that?
Yeah.
Is there a motion that the financial statement be approved?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Any questions about that? Hearing none, all those who favor the motion signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and it is so ordered. Thank you, Laura. Please continue.
All right. Also in that second book you received right after the financial statement, we wanted to update you on the resolution of that Child Care Council matter. After some back and forth with the folks, we were able to get all three parties registered as lobbyists. Each of them paid a $1,000 fine, which is the maximum that we can assess without the necessity of a complaint being filed. And so, again, they were properly registered, and thanks to Danita, Lori, and Emily for working with them to get them to also file their registration papers and their updated reports as required by the law. So that issue was resolved. So any questions for me about that?
So are they now lobbying for those groups?
Two of them are still registered to lobby. The Stevenson gentleman and Ms. Bird are still currently registered, and Shannon Smith is not, but she did go back and register retroactively. But yeah, but they did pay the maximum fine that we could have assessed without having to have a complaint filed by somebody else or by the commission. So anyway.
Great work.
Okay, and then next in that second book you received, there's a kind of an external audit that the legislative branch is probably going to have to do. It has to do with enabling them to use EMARs and participate in that more completely. So they're going through every agency in the legislative branch. Of course, there's not that many. There's LRC and there's us. But so they requested that we meet with LRC staff to go over our spending process. Again, make sure that it would stand up to, an outside auditor coming in and looking at it, and then advising us on any additional procedures or safeguards or things like that might be necessary, things that we might be missing. So Danita, Lori, Emily, and Tom Hampton and I worked on written answers, which you can see on the next page. Mr. Hopman had sent us a list of things they wanted to know. So we went through and, basically answered all those questions. And I really think this is a good exercise for us all together, collectively to make sure that we could demonstrate, that our processes and procedures for fiscal things were being followed and documented, and in a transparent way, and also to show that obviously we're following the statutes that would apply to the commission. And again, while the commission is independent, it's an independent agency within the legislative branch. Of course, we do rely on LRC for processing and payment of our expenditures, again, as part of the legislative branch. So again, we don't have the checkbook, we don't pay it in-house, but that's actually more of a protection because it has to move through the process. So again, all five of us met with the LRC staff on July 21st, and we verbally went over essentially line by line our responses, just to make sure that again, they want to know what we were doing. So we answered any questions and got feedback from them. But per their review at the time, they said that our responses and processes were really thorough. They didn't have any problems or issues with with the information that we had. And actually, one of the gentlemen said that normally meetings of this type would last like 3 to 4 hours, and I think we were out of there, or they came to our office. They were out of there in about an hour, so that's good. They of course, they're taking this back and as a larger endeavor, so they're going to get back with us if there are any other questions or concerns. But really, none of them were raised. Nothing was raised at the meeting, so that was good. Again, I really want to thank Danita and Lori and Emily and Tom for, again, going through this, all these questions and going through and making sure that, we could show exactly how we pay things, how we approve things. Again, it's a small office, but it's still obviously still important to make sure that there are kind of those divisions of labor, so that things don't get paid, or people don't buy yachts or whatever, which sometimes happens in state agencies. So again, just making sure that that's documented, and again, if they come back and there's some issue, obviously I'll let you know about it. But as of now, it's it seems like that first part of it went pretty well. So, and frankly, it was a good exercise for me, because there are things that just, over 25 years, you just do things a certain way. And it was good for me to really concentrate on that. Anyway, so that was a good thing. So audits can be fun, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. So there wasn't any problem with us having authority to spend our money and that sort of thing?
No,
Okay.
nothing like that. Mm-mm. No, and again, our authority comes from two places. The first being, our statutes that say that we have the right to spend, and then the second place is the budget. So, yeah.
Sounds very good.
Well, and then there's other statutes about, like in 45 and other places that, you have to follow certain protocols. But again,
Yeah,
if they've got issues, they were very helpful in looking at it. So hopefully if we do have issues, that they'll let us know and we can fix them. So that's good.
sounds great. Any
Yeah.
questions? Okay.
All right. The next item in that second book is legislation for the 2022 session. We didn't really work on any legislation in 2021 due to COVID really taking up all the available bandwidth for legislative action, and it was primarily about the response to that. But I went ahead and reached out to Representative Kim Mosier, of course, after the commission voted to send over its recommendations. So I thought, we'll go on and talk to her, and also Representative Flood has again shown interest. So I gave them the draft that I'd worked up, which is based on kind of where we ended up in the Senate, like at the very end. And we had talked through some possible things to not deal with. And so anyway, that's kind of where it ended up. But anyway, they are, Representative Moser and Flood have already spoken with each other, which is great. And they're hoping to get somebody on board in the Senate, and even perhaps introduce it in the Senate, which would really be a good thing. First, because it's kind of the part of the equation that didn't get through last time, and also it would start earlier. It would start there and get the kinks worked out. Then I'm pretty sure that the House would pass it. So that's where that is. And plus, and Moser is a Republican and Flood is a Democrat. So also it's good to have the bipartisan thing there.
So
the
there are
next
no
thing-
changes from what, there are no changes from our last submission of this.
No. Okay, the next thing in the book is the commission on, I'm sorry, the committee on staff salaries. Did you want to?
Yeah.
Chairman,
I'll recognize the chairperson of that committee, Mr. Mike Knopfinger.
Thank you, Chairman Dave. So we did have a meeting on August 20th that comprised Judge Wilhoit, David Nichols, myself, and then Tom Hampton was in attendance, as well as Danita. And so we had some information that was provided for us up front, which we greatly appreciated, that allowed us to compare salaries of our staff with folks in similar job descriptions throughout the executive branch and the Legislative Research Commission. So based on that information and where our current staff is presently today with pay, we are recommending some changes, and this was sent to everybody in a memo on August 20th. But to just reiterate what is in there is that we would, based on that evaluation, that our recommendation is that effective October 1st, we would look at a 5% increase for Emily Dennis, Danita Crittenden, and Lori Smither. And then a second tranche of increases to occur on March 1st, which would be a 5% increase, once again, for Emily Dennis, Danita Crittenden, Lori Smither, and then 5% for Laura Hendricks. And then our last recommendation is that the salaries be reevaluated in September of each year going forward. And so that is the committee report. Chairman Nichols.
Thank you, Michael. Any questions about that? We have, Michael did a good job doing this. Tony was on the committee and he resigned, so I took his spot. And Michael did a great job. And, you know, we need to make sure that we keep our staff who do a great job at where they need to be salary wise. And I think this work has accomplished that, or continues to try to accomplish that. And so I was very pleased with where we ended up. Judge Wilhoit, do you have any comment?
Oh, I think we're going the right way. Of course, I think Donita's pay should have been cut, but other than that, no, I think it's a good recommendation.
Yeah, well, we may have to outvote you on that one, but that's okay.
Sure.
Michael, would you like to make a motion that your report be approved?
Or I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Appearing to be none. All those who favor the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and it is so ordered. I think it's we've got the best staff anywhere around, and we need to keep them looking that way in terms of their salaries. So I think I appreciate your support of doing that. That's probably going to be an ongoing process because we want to not only get them there, but we want to keep them there. So anything? Okay. The next item that we want to talk about, or may want to talk about is the Council.
Well, yeah, let me run through a couple more things and then we're gonna have Emily talk about the COGO
Okay.
conference. Yeah. Just real briefly, I wanted to kind of update you on some training that we've done. Emily and I were able to present virtually at the LRC Continuing Legal Education, which is 2 days of free CLE for lawyers. And that was at the end of June, and we did 1 hour on the ethics code. The good thing was we received several calls from folks as a result of that, asking questions or saying, well, I didn't realize that this, we had to do this. So that was really good. And it was, it was well received. Also in terms of ethics training, of course, every January we have to do now 2 hours of training for the legislators. So we're gonna start looking at that. Last time, Emily and I just kind of tag teamed it. Now with a little bit more, I guess, experience in Zoom and things like that, hopefully we can get a speaker, an outside speaker. So at least so they don't have to listen to me the whole time, which is, of course, Emily was great. The other thing I wanted to let you know is Emily and Mark Bringelman, our outside counsel, our enforcement counsel, they're updating our commission's procedural manual, which is good because I don't think it's been done in a while. And that was Emily's suggestion, a great suggestion. And now I'd like to have, I wanted Emily, Danita, and Lori to kind of go over some things that they've been working on. So if we want to start off with Emily, and she's going to talk about the COGL meeting to start off with.
Thank you, Laura.
You're welcome.
Just for the benefit of anybody watching, I'm Emily Dennis, and I'm the General Counsel of the Kentucky Legislative Ethics Commission. Laura's asked me to update the commission members on a few things that we've been doing as a general counsel's office. First off, about the COGL conference. The Legislative Ethics Commission has a long history of activity in the Council on Governmental Ethics Laws. That's COGL for short. For instance, the commission, together with the Registry of Election Finance, hosted COGL in Lexington, Kentucky in 2001. And in 2012, the commission's then executive director, who's also a member currently on our commission, Judge Wilhoit, received the COGL award. Membership in COGL numbers around 200 persons, and these are generally government ethics officials in their jurisdictions, from governmental agencies and other interested individuals. For instance, I know that there are some lobbyists who are members of COGL, and they're from the United States and Canada, with some European, Australian, and Latin American members. The recent annual conferences have attracted over 300 participants. It's always a very interesting conference. There's a lot to learn from it. There's a campaign finance track, an ethics track, also an open meetings and open records track of CLE, continuing legal education, educational seminars. But last year, the conference was canceled due to COGL. I mean, due to COVID, and there was just a virtual option available. And unfortunately, this year's conference has been canceled as an in-person event, but it is also going to be held in a modified format as a virtual event. So before the cancellation, I was contacted and asked to participate on a panel on lobbyist conflicts of interest. And Laura said I could go to the conference and I was going to participate in that panel. The good news is that even in this virtual option, this panel is going to be one of the 5 panels that they keep in the new updated format. So my panel, as far as I know at this moment, is going to appear on December the 7th at 2:45 p.m. Eastern time, and it'll be a 1-hour panel. And of course, we'll keep you all updated on this virtual option to attend Kogel. Once they get it all finalized, I'm going to work to try to have it approved as a Kentucky CLE and to get the word out so that people that want to participate in this will have that option. Last year, everything happened so fast that I don't think they really had a chance to put it together as well. But this year, they've got time to actually think it through and make it as meaningful as it can be. So we will let you know as soon as we know how you go about registering for the virtual conference. Okay, are there any questions about Kogel? All right, the other thing that Laura asked me to update you on is legislative candidates and the ethics laws requirements. Several sitting legislators and legislative candidates have notified the Registry of Election Finance that they intend to run for office. As soon as they notify the registry of this intent, then they can begin to raise and spend money for the primary, even though they can't file for ballot access until November. So periodically, I've been checking the registry's website and notifying these notice of intent candidates of the ethics laws requirements and the campaign contributions restrictions. Now, once they've gone through the ballot access filing period, then we will also notify them that they have to file a required statement of financial disclosure. So that'll come up after the ballot access filing period. We've had a couple of legislators pass away and one resign. There's been a special election called. These candidates will also be notified of the restrictions and requirements of the ethics code. And I've been working with the registry to get a list of the current state PACs to make sure we don't have any lobbyists that are in a position to violate the law by being solicited for or approving PAC contributions to legislators and legislative candidates. So are there any questions on that? Okay, I got one more thing, and then I'll give it up to Danita. Open records compliance, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try something novel. I'm going to try to share a screen. Hopefully this will work. We'll just see if it works. But anyway, you should be able to see the front page of our website now. Laura, can you see that? Okay, good. Okay, we had the law changed, the open records law changed effective June 29th, 2021. And as a result of the change, public agencies are required to display in a prominent location accessible to the public, including its website, the following information. a copy of the rules and regulations pertaining to public records, the mailing address, email address, and phone number of the official custodian of the records for the agency, and the form developed by the AG that can be used to request public records. So what's really cool about this is we all work together. Danita, Laura, Lori, and me, we work together, and we were working remotely on this to put all this together. If you want to find our records policy, it's right here. And I don't know whether this is going to come up where you can see it or not. Probably not, but you would click there. If you want to get a copy of the form from the AG's office, there's a spot to click for that. Also, here's Danita. Danita is our official custodian, and you can come right here and click there to get her email address. So anyway, it's all on our website. We work together all day, a couple of days, to make sure that we got it right. And Danita has the skills to update our website. So she went in there and updated it so that we were compliant the day that the law went into effect. And anyway, it's just wonderful to work with people that, you know, we work together well, and there's a lot of give and take, and we get it done. So anyway, are there any questions about this? All
Looks
right.
great.
That's all that I have. And so I'm going to turn it over to Danita.
Guys, so Laura has asked me to update you all on our current status with our database. Our database holds all of the information that employers and legislative agents send in, all their expenses, addresses, phone numbers, emails, everything we need to get in contact with them or look at their records that they filed over the years. This database goes back to 1993, but we have a lot of issues with it, and we are now working with the Legislative Research Commission and their computer programmers to completely override the database we currently have into a new web based program, and they are currently working on it. And they will also redo our online filing system so it will work with their new database that they're giving us to put on our computers. We expect to have this up and running by the summer of 2022. 9 to 10 months from now, they're going to be letting us have a test database to try out and see if it works correctly before we go live in September with forms coming in. She also wanted me to update you all on our website. Since I'm the one that has created the website and maintain it, we were using hyperlinks on our website that the Legislative Research Commission had given us so that you could go to bill numbers and look at what bills say when they're on their website. But they transferred over a couple of years ago, so all of our hyperlinks quit working. So we've been working on that this summer to get all the hyperlinks up and running, and should be now that if you go on our website and click on anything, it works and takes you to the right location. But we're talking, hundreds and hundreds of hyperlinks had to be situated to the new addresses that LRC had switched over to. But that's been done now, and our website is up and running and working correctly. She also wanted us to update you all that forms are due. So all employers and lobbyists have to file expense reports. They're due tomorrow. We've been super swamped this last week trying to get these forms in. I sent out an email reminder to all employers and lobbyists about around the 5th of the month so that they have 10 days to get the forms in. Once I send out that reminder, they just start flooding in. And there's about 3,000 forms that come in. So people still file by paper. We encourage them to file online only because that's the easiest and best way to do it. but we still get 500 to 600 paper forms, which is less than 5% of the 3,000 that come in. So I think we've done a really good job getting them switched over to the online version, and we hope to continue to do that. So eventually it will all be online and the paper forms will stop coming in. But that's probably a few years from now when that happens. We have some that just really like to file by paper. So the forms are due tomorrow. So today and tomorrow is going to be a very busy day. We'll get all those forms in and entered, and then we'll put them on our website for the public to view. Does anybody have any questions on anything that I've updated you all on? If not, I'm going to switch it over to Lori. She's got an update for you.
All right, hello. So I had been contacted by an electronic records analyst from Libraries and Archives. They needed to get some updated backup information for us for our record series and keeping them. They only had our forms as any records. So I had to go in, create, I created with a brief description of pretty much everything that's on our database, our website, just a breakdown with how it relates to the forms. They pretty much do this. They keep it on file with them. So it's an outside location for our records in case something ever happens. You never know, natural disaster, what have you. I do have a copy of that. If anybody wants a copy, I got everything finalized and completed, sent over. They did approve it. And she said they will be contacting us next year to see for changes, updates, and to request it again. I guess, so pretty much that's all with that. Of course, this will change when our new system comes in with the website. And she said to contact them as soon as that was done. So I'm assuming it will probably be around the time frame when Donita said our new system and database will be completed by LRC. But she said if it was after the year when I update it, I will have to do it again. She said to contact her anytime if we have any information or need any records. And then on another note, Emily and I went to a training, a SharePoint training on the website, how to create, edit, make changes, everything like that. And that was interesting. It was a lot to learn in 3 or 4 hours. We took lots of notes. Of course, Donita knows all about the website, so she's gonna help. But now she has extra help with making changes, updating things. Now they do have some updated features, and we're gonna look into those. It was drag and drop, where to find free imaging, things like that, and uploading links. There's a lot of those changes, and we are gonna all get together and go over that too. So I think that's all I have. That was pretty quick, but it was to the point. And if anybody needs this copy, just email me and I will scan and send it back to you. And it is a good breakdown of everything on our forms and in our system. It's like a quick reference point. So, all right, Laura, it's to you.
Thanks you all. You know, again, I just can't say enough good things about these ladies and Tom and Mark and how hard they work on everything and working together and trying to get to, you know, what a good outcome is and you know, taking everybody's concerns into, you know, into again to do the job, and it's great. Let's see, I guess the last thing I have are the myriad of informal opinions that are in those 2 books from the end of May through the end of August. And obviously we've had, you know, quite a few. And actually, this tends to be true during the special session, you know, since the legislators are down there, the lobbyists are down there, we got, you have an uptick in requests, it seems like. The other interesting thing is, while last year there wasn't as much out of state travel, people weren't doing conferences, they did manage to have some out of state events. So we got, several more questions about that. We did have one opinion where it kind of stemmed from an out of state request. Well, it kind of was looking like they were actually lobbying. So we actually did get them to go ahead and register, which obviously is a good thing. And, other, pretty much runs the gamut again of the law, conflicts of interest, can I send this letter, things like that. And so again, since we can't go over to executive session, if you've got any particular questions, just let me know afterwards, and I can, we can talk about that, or we can talk about it at the next meeting. I also wanted to do a shout out to Emily, because these informals are internal. We don't release them, they're confidential, but we obviously still go back and look at them in terms of making sure that we've said the same thing, we're consistent, or if there's been a law change, we have to look at that. But Emily has worked on an internal guide for us with links to the letters or the emails or whatever, so that we can use that, and it makes it a lot easier. Certainly when we're, if we're working from home, we can just go into our system that LRC has set up for us and pull those and be able to read them, rather than waiting on somebody to either, get to the office and pull them up. So that's been really helpful as we've gone through this. And I think that's pretty much it for my part of it. If y'all have questions or anything, happy to answer.
We have all those opinions that we've given cataloged in any kind of way.
Yes, we keep binders of them, and
Okay.
Danita, Danita, and I think Peggy Williams before her, I believe, have a list of, it's by date, it's by who requested it, what the substance of it is. And in many cases it talks about, it'll have a citation, but again, since it's an internal thing, it's,
We actually typed up a list on our computer, and it's probably 50 pages long now, from 1993 up until today. Emily, when she started, took that over from me, because it really needs to be updated by an attorney, because they're the ones searching it. They should put the keywords that they know they would look up if there's an issue they want to research. But we also have it cataloged by the KRS. So if you mention a KRS or an official opinion of the commission in your memo, then you can search for that KRS or that opinion, because we've typed that up in that catalog as well. So we've got a database set up with all of those in there from 1993 till now, so they can research what anybody in the past has told somebody about a specific subject.
Mm-hmm.
Is that available?
It's available to you all, but not to the public.
Not to the
Because
public.
the requester is confidential, and we have to alphabetize it in a paper binder. So we have to put the requester's name so we can know where to look it up in the binder.
Right.
And then we put the issue and any KRS or opinion numbers that were talked about in that. Then let's say if the same issue came up under one of the KRSs, you could just look for that KRS and see if Tony Wilhoit or John Schaaf had written opinion before Emily or Laura was here.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can reference that to make sure we're telling everybody the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Sounds great.
resource.
Yep.
I'm just going to take a moment to say how proud I am of our staff. That was a great report that you guys gave us here today. And you are staying on top of everything. It's pretty uncommon for a board or commission and have a lot of experience that way to stay as caught up as you guys are. And I'm very proud of you for doing that. Very pleased, and we're all benefiting from that, and including the General Assembly and the lobbyists who benefit greatly by your work. So we appreciate you.
Thanks.
Anything else? One thing we did do a little bit before we started, but I want to do on the record is to recognize Judge Paula Sherlock and her service to the commission. And she's going to retire and live in a foreign country, foreign state of North Carolina. And but we do appreciate you, Judge, and you have been very helpful since I've been chairman. You've been very helpful in the comments and the difficult situations we've worked through, and your perspective has been, with your experience as a family court judge, has been invaluable. And I can think of one instance when it was particularly invaluable. And so we do appreciate you. We look forward to your return to Kentucky at some point. But we're grateful for all you've done. You're a great lady, and we're very privileged to have had you amongst us.
Thank you. It has been a real honor to serve on this commission. I think it does really valuable work. I've been so impressed with the professionalism of the entire staff, needless to say, and also each individual commission member that I've worked with. So it is with real sadness, but I think that since I'm becoming a resident of North Carolina, it's time to make this step. And I shall miss you all. And again, I applaud your hard work. And I think Kentucky is to be commended for having, putting resources behind keeping this commission in order. We've seen a lot of chaos in our government in the last few years. And I think ethics commissions are just vital to keeping our government running the way we hope it always runs. So thank you. And thank you for your kind words, Dave.
You're welcome. Any other items to come before the commission? Yes, ma'am.
Since I'm new, I would just like to, know how long the staff has served. I think that really speaks well of the commission, that people want to stay. And that's just a curiosity I have. I thought maybe anyone listening might like to know that.
Danito, you want to?
How
long have you been here? Forever.
I opened the office in 1993.
1993.
1993. So this is my 28th year here.
And then let's see, Lori, when did you start? About a little bit after. Oh, you're mute. You're mute.
For 8 years. Oh,
right.
Yeah, I'm on mute. Okay.
You're
yeah,
good.
I was part-time for 8 years. And then in 2016, I became full-time staff. So a long time too.
Yeah. Emily?
Had to get unmute there. I've been here since October of 2019. Before that, I was at the Registry of Election Finance for over 10 years. So this was a natural progression to come here.
And we stole her from Kraft, and there was a great weeping and gnashing of teeth, I assure you, when we did that. And I started here in 2018 after working for LRC for, I don't even know, 20 years or so. So I'm a relative newbie, but they've broken me in, so.
Well, I think that speaks well of all of you. We're, in today's society, people don't want to stay, particularly young people. And I think that speaks well of the commission and you all that you are dedicated to the job and the state and our people.
We should note that Tony Woolhoit's been here since 1997. He was
Yes,
executive director for 18 years and then became a commission member. So he has the history as well.
yes.
And I survived working with Tony Woolhoit. He didn't fire.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Thank you for those good comments. We have a very experienced staff to be so young, you know? And I don't know how they did it. They must have started like out of the 6th grade.
Uh-huh.
But, Senator Harris.
Yeah, is there an update on Tony Gates? I didn't know that he resigned until this meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I sent that. He has prostate cancer
Okay.
and was taking some treatments, and he felt like they were interfering with his cognition a little bit, his thinking. But I think he's doing well. I haven't checked up on him in the last couple of weeks, but I'm going to. We sent him a fruit basket recently, like I said, and I was, I kind of got the impression that he was having it's taken a lot out of him, so I haven't wanted to bug him that much, but I was going to check and see when I saw that went to, and I was going to call him and check on him. But yeah, sorry. I thought I'd sent that out. I'm
You probably
sorry
did.
if I didn't.
Senior moment.
Well, I have them all the time too.
Yeah, early senior moments.
Yeah.
Anything else to come before the commission? If not, is there a motion that we retire from conference?
So move.
Or adjourn?
Second.
Second that we adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those who favor the motion signify by saying aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and it is so ordered. Thank you very much for your attention and for the delay that we had today. It worked out well, and I appreciate everybody's patience with that. We've got a great group, and if we just had a better leader. So anyway, we'll see you next time, and thanks for everything. Bye-bye.